All right, here we are. Welcome back. Welcome to session 5. This is session 5 of our leadership masterclass. I was so thankful for you. So glad that you are all here on a Saturday, just diving in. So if you are here live on this Saturday, day 5 of our masterclass, go ahead and type in live. Right now, we got something special for you. And for the folks who are joining in on the replay, type in replay because we want to share something with you folks as well. So let us know if you are here live or if you are on the replay. Today is Saturday. You folks who are committed to showing up every day, right? This is what leadership is about. Showing up every day to learn and to grow. And so this is what it's all about. Welcome, Nick. Welcome, Renee. Welcome. Who is here live with us today? We have some special treats for you, and we have some movement in that relationship mapping strategy that we want to share with you. So welcome, welcome. I don't see any comments, although I do see a bunch of people popping on. So if you are here live, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It is a whopping, 9 degrees up here in New Hampshire. It is freezing, but we are surviving. We are bundled up inside. It definitely is one of the colder days of the year. So welcome, here we are. So usually on Saturdays, right? So we are working through this masterclass. We've really gone deep so far over the last several days. We've gone really deep. We've developed some. Oh no, Erica, you're commenting. I can't quite. Oh, there we go. Now I can see. Now I can see. Jennifer's live. Alicia's live. Okay, phew. I was like, where is everyone? I think there was a little delay. Hey, Allie. Hey, Andy, rather. Happy Saturday from Roanoke. Wonderful. Rhea from Florida. Shani. We're going to get snow for 12 hours. Holy cow. Wisconsin. Yeah, it's pretty cold. I'd imagine up in your neck of the woods. Shani, I'm looking forward to talking to you later today. I sent you a private message, so happy to get on the phone with you. Erica, yes, you are here. Here we go. Thank you for bringing it all together. Alex is here live. Alicia's here live. Darcy is here live. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning to you. Oh, look at all the pretty flowers. I like it. Fantastic. So, Alex, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Here we are. Yes, Caroline's here live. Welcome. Elise is here. Welcome. We are popping on board. Yes, here we are. So we've done a lot. Rhea is here. I'm happy about that. Lily's here. Yes. Welcome. Glad you are here. So I want to just put this one thought out there. And I wrote this down because this is a wonderful quote by Gifford Thomas that I want to share with you. And it is, a leader's role is to create a culture that allows their people to become the very best versions of themselves, which will automatically result in added value to that organization, right? I'm going to repeat that by Gifford Thomas, right? A leader's role is to create a culture that allows their people to become the very best versions of themselves, which will automatically result and added value to the organization, right? We are culture builders. We are culture change agents, right? So it is our job to build the culture that we want. And I'm going to share an example with you right here and right now, and it's about to get raw. It's about to get really raw right here and right now. So I'm going to share an example with you. Sometimes you have complete control over the culture, and sometimes you don't, right? And sometimes you have to make a stand as a leader, right, in what you want your culture to look like, to feel like, to be like. And in this Facebook group, yeah, you love that quote, Darcy and Rhea, I do too. And in this Facebook group and in our community, what we are leaders. Right? We are visionaries. We are here, mid-level supervisors, aspiring leaders. We have this platform here to rise each other and to build each other up. Now, over the last couple days, we've had a commenter in this group who was not doing that, right? Who was not doing that. And several of you reached out to me personally, and thank you for that. Sometimes I miss some of that when I'm on the live. And, several of you reached out and said, hey, this person is creating a culture that I don't feel comfortable in. And so as a leader, we had to make a choice, right? We had to make a choice in our community that we are building, which is inviting, a place where you can be vulnerable, a place where you can learn and grow, and just a really positive environment. So we had to make a choice as a team, right, and as leaders of this group to say, that's not going to be tolerated here. Hello, Victor. Glad to see you here. And so we have removed people from the group who are not contributing to the bigger goal, who are not contributing to that bigger goal, who are not creating this opportunity here. This quote, hey, Robin, welcome. This quote, a leader's role is to create a culture that allows their people to become the very best versions of themselves. So when that happens, right, when you create a culture that allows people to become that very best version of themselves, which automatically results in added value, right? You want to take a stand for what you want your culture to look like and feel like and be like. And that's what we did in our group. And it's not always pretty. It's not always pretty. And I want to get that message across to the leaders here. Sometimes you piss people off. Right? When you have the bigger vision, which our bigger vision of this group is a platform where leaders can grow, be vulnerable, connect, right? When you have a vision of a group and there's folks who are not in alignment with that vision, you have some choices to make, right? You can continue to pursue and you can continue to try to recover, right? Or you can make some really strong boundaries, even if the other person doesn't get it. And so I am positive in my leadership career, I have pissed a lot of people off, right? Because they may not see the vision that I have, and that's okay. And so as leaders, I want you to know it's okay if people don't see what you see. It's okay if you have to make some hard decisions, right? In your work environment, in your home environment. It's okay if you have to make some hard decisions that are for the betterment of that group. Now, I'm not saying to let your employees go. I'm not saying to let your employees go necessarily. What I'm saying is to be strong in that vision that you have as a leader. Be strong in that vision, right? Be strong in that vision and align people as best as possible. And we're doing that. We're doing that through the recaps. We're doing that through the homework. We're doing that through the support that we're giving you here on these lives, as well as all the private messages, right? So we're building the culture that we want. And those who are not in alignment with that culture, it's okay for us to set boundaries around them. And I want you to know this, because this is something that I think leaders struggle with, right? Leaders struggle with saying no. Leaders struggle with, will they like me, right? Leaders struggle with this. How many of you here have ever struggled with making a decision because you're wondering, will they like me, right? Will they like me? So a lot of folks, I know this is resonating with folks here, because if you are a supervisor and everybody likes every decision that you've ever made, then I don't know, you must be God, right? You must be the divine something, because people are not always going to agree with everything that you do. But when you come from a place of authenticity, when you come from a place of vision, when you come from a place of support, right? Then the actions that you take are only in movement, right? So Robin, Sarah, Darcy, several of you are getting this, right? And so Jen, you are welcome. To me, we can do the hard things. Yes. Glennon Doyle said that too. Fantastic. Renee says, yes, so true, but it's about the greater good. Yes. And so the greater good of this masterclass, of this community, of folks beyond this community, is really to instill a sense of empowerment, to instill a sense of alignment with that vision. And so this was a beautiful opportunity for me to recognize as a leader of this group, and for our team to recognize as a leader of this group, the boundaries that we had to make. So thank you for those of you who felt comfortable enough to step up to the plate and share with us some of those thoughts. That shows me that the culture that we're creating here is exactly what we want it to be. Right? Exactly. So Alicia says, you worry, will they like me? Yeah, we do that. We worry, will they like me? And I will tell you, not everybody likes Dawn Reby. I will tell you that. I had a sergeant who hated me. And it was okay, because it was probably inside of him. I've had people that I've worked with who were like, stay in your lane, lady, you know, and not everybody loves Dawn Reby. And you know what? It's okay, because I know that I come from an authentic place. I know that I come from a place of vision and drive, and I know that I come from a place of rising others. So everybody doesn't have to see that, right? And that's okay. And that's okay. So Victor says, makes them, the team, part of some decisions. Exactly, Victor, empowering your team. Melissa said, this place is such a, I'm sorry, Michelle says, this place is such a positive place for me, the RG program. Had, you know, non-toxic environment and making that a priority. Yes. So glad we have this tribe. So glad we have our groups, our private groups as well. Absolutely. Jennifer says, keep in mind you want to be liked by people that will help you grow. What a great point, Jen, to really be able to, you know, be in proximity to the people who will rise you, because you're not going to ask someone who's bankrupt. You're not going to ask someone who doesn't know how to take care of their finances to help you financial plan. Right? You're not going to listen to family members who are like, you're silly to be putting your money in a Roth, you know, IRA, right? When you're just like, wait a second, you're broke. You don't have any money, but you want to be so accepted, right? You want to be so accepted. So who are you listening to? That's a great point, Jen. Caroline is inviting some folks. Thank you so much for inviting Tanya and a couple of other folks. Okay, yes, hard to believe. Not everyone loves Dawn Reby, right? It's okay. So that's right. Let's see. Shani says, I know that I am not liked. However, the work that I do is right. That's what's important. And when you are clear on your vision, when you are clear on where you're going, when you are so passionate about your why, right? You're gonna have to be smart about how you get there with respect to who you are as a human, right? Quite honestly, with respect to who you are as a person. I love it. Thank you again, Caroline, for inviting Christiana and some other folks. Yeah, Jen nailed it, 100% truth. Jen says, haters gonna hate, leaders rise above and find opportunities to win elsewhere. Absolutely. So I thought it was quite fitting with the time of the lesson of today to really let you know that you can stick your neck out and you can be the person that's not liked, and that's okay. Ria says, when you get to that place that you're okay with people not liking you, it's like peak adulthood. Yes, exactly. So this is something that we have a leaders group, right, who meets on a regular basis to support each other privately in a private little group. And this is something that they struggle with. This is something that all leaders struggle with. Will upper management like me? Will my people like me? How can I get liked by everybody, right? How can I get liked by everybody? And that's not the point of leadership, right? Leadership is definitely about influence. You want people to follow you, but you want the right people to follow you, right? You want the right people to be in alignment with that bigger vision. So it's okay. It's okay for people not to like you or not to understand where your vision is going. So you do your best to explain it. You do your best to improve your own communication skills, right? You do your best to get clear about that vision that you are headed toward, right? But in the end, you got to stick to your core values, period. And our core values here are about rising each other, right? Rising each other. So I thought that was a perfect example to really share with folks here, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the replay. Develop your core characteristics that we talked about on day one. Get really solid and practice those. Practice your authenticity, practice decision making, practice quality you, right? Practice those core characteristics and care less about making everyone, pleasing everyone, and more about, being authentic to people and rising people and moving people along that visionary path with you, right? With you. And so today is really moving on from that leadership piece relationship piece about building those quality relationships with the right people. So there are folks, who I mess up all the time, right? Let's just say it. I mess up all the time. When I'm coaching sometimes, I'll mess up, or maybe I'll mistakenly, I'll double book, or, that doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, right? And so people know that I'm not intentionally trying to screw them, right? They know that, I'm coming from a really quality place. And so sometimes my errors are forgiven, right? And the same can be true for you. When you are authentic, when you are coming from a caring, nurturing, real place, then people are going to respect you more, and they're going to want to rise along with you, right? And so that's what the quote today was all about, and just the timing of it was absolutely perfect. And so here's another thing to think about. Leaders are time, team, and energy managers. So I want you to put in the chat right now, leaders are time, team, and energy managers. Welcome, Lucy. Glad that you are here. Yes, we rise each other, Caroline. That's right. Yes, Ria, that's right. Leaders are time, team, and energy managers, right? Focusing on goals, clarity, creating clarity, finding goals, focusing on delegating and minimizing interruptions for your team, right? Which is what we did today. We minimized the interruption for our team so that we could really jump forward. Yeah, leaders, yes, Jen, leaders are time, team, and energy managers. Exactly, Ria, exactly, Erica. Yes, Lily, we are time, team, and energy managers. And so we want to be aware, Alex, that's right, Elise, exactly. So we want to be aware, Renee, exactly. We want to be aware and value the time, the team, and the energy of others, right? Yes, Caroline. Yes, Michelle. Yes, Allie. Exactly. So these are some really solid nuggets, right? Yes, Shani. Exactly. Sarah says it too. Leaders of time, team, and energy. Lucy got it. Yeah. And so, we want to respect folks' time by eliminating those obstacles that stand in their way. So as managers, we are looking for obstacles to eliminate. So if there's some struggle from management, upper management, and you're kind of that buffer in between, you might be holding in some of that, some of that energy sucking activity, right? Or some of the negativity, or maybe even some of the distractions that come into place. Yes, Victor. He always, I have to tell you, we need to work together to write a book or something, because you're good at like taking what I say and just making an acronym out of it. This is great. I love it. And you provide so much value with your extensive background. So thank you for that. And so, we want to minimize interruptions. And what that means is a couple of things. It means engineering environments that have the least amount of interruptions. Engineering environments and people, right, that have the least amount of interruptions. That means, right, that means productivity audits for your team, really figuring out what are they working on and how can you remove any obstacles. What are your team's obstacles? Now, you don't have to know everything about what they do, right? That's their job to know the ins and outs of it. You probably have a good idea, right? But your job is to ask them, what do you need to be successful? Engineer their environments for them. Make those environments happen, okay? So I'm kind of sharing a couple of things because these build credibility, they build likability, and they build results. Right? So in our smaller groups, we actually walk through exactly how to do this, right? Exactly how to build those environments for your teams, exactly how to eliminate obstacles, what obstacles to look for, right? What obstacles to look for relative to your team's growth and development, relative to their environments. Yesterday, we touched a little bit on this when we talked about a lot of people are working from home right now. So how are you removing obstacles? How are you increasing productivity? How are you creating this community amongst your team? Renee and a couple of you, actually, Erin, I think too, are doing retreats, right? Virtual retreats to really build that connectivity, creating a little flexibility in the schedule, ensuring that their teams are taking leadership of self as a priority, right? So the environments that we're engineering is really key for for that credibility, for the likability, and for the results. Okay. So, we talked about those foundational pieces that you needed, the key characteristics, right? We talked about the fears that many folks have, and that fear is a what? Everybody right now, fear is a what? Type it into the chats. We know what fear is. I'm going to wait for you. I'm not going to give it to you. Fear is a what? We have fears. We have imposter syndrome. We have, scarcity mindset back in the day. Like we have these things. Guilt. We have guilt. Right. Exactly, Allie. It's a choice. Fear is a choice. Right, Erica. Fear is a choice. Yes, Jen. Fear's a choice, right? It's what we decide. Yes, Ria. And so recognizing, knowing, Alicia, exactly, knowing it, and understanding it and moving beyond the barrier, right? Thinking ourselves into results. And so we talked a lot about that. Yes, Victor. Yes, Alex. Yes, Caroline. And yes, Lucy. All of it. Yeah. And so Lily got it. So once we identify these barriers that we have, it's just a matter of breaking them down, right? So we think ourselves into results. Things happen twice, once in the mind and once in real life. Michelle, Alex, you all got it. You all got it. Right? So we recognize it, and then we choose to think something differently. We choose to focus on that other piece of it, right? The other side of it. And then we get there. And then we get there with little bite-sized incremental changes. Welcome, Chris. Glad that you are here. So, so relationship mapping, we got into a little bit yesterday. Relationship mapping is really that last box, right? So we talked about those. Actually, let's back up for a second. We talked about those 4 key things that leaders are always thinking about. Who remembers the 4 key things that leaders are always thinking about? As a leader, as an aspiring leader, as a supervisor, you are always thinking about these 4 things. Who's gonna win the high five on that one? Hey, Lisa, I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome. So we are thinking as leaders about those 4 key things, and then we're going to incorporate it all into this relationship mapping piece that we're building on today. So before we move on, I want to make sure everyone's on the same page. I want to make sure we know those 4 key things that leaders are always thinking about. Ria's got the acronym down. Look at you all writing the acronym. So we have, yes, vision. We're always having that vision in mind, right? Where are we going? We're thinking about results. R for results, right? We're thinking about the results that we want to achieve, that we want our team to achieve. Yes, Caroline. Yes, Alicia. We're thinking about rising others. What opportunities exist for us to bring other people up? Build legacy. Don't just leave and be like, peace out, enjoy, have fun, take over for me, right? You want to be building those opportunities, finding those opportunities to rise other people. And if you're looking for an opportunity to do that, in our units sections, we have a unit called Success Stories where we have Rise Each Other. You can simply just promote someone. And maybe Victor says, so-and-so who I work with, and he invites that person to the page, has been instrumental in this way. Bam, you're rising somebody. Michelle got it. Yeah, exactly. Vision, legacy, results, rise others. Exactly. So the L is for that legacy piece. Don't remember, but it's in the comments. I missed that, Ria. I'm sorry, I missed that. So, thinking about our vision all the time, where are we going? Because you can't align people with the vision. You can't be that chiropractor, that alignment chiropractor, unless you know where the North Star is pointed, right? So getting clear on that vision. Right? Getting clear on that vision. First, thinking about the results. So that's where we get into the productivity. That's where we get into the systems. What products do we have? Like that 80-20 piece, that 80-20 lifestyle, really focusing in on those 20% of activities that produce the greatest 80% of results, right? So that's where we get in productivity. That's where we perform some productivity audits, which we have something special planned for you all here. Rising others, we talked about that, and building legacy. Legacy is about the infrastructure that you're building. Who are you developing as a leader? What onboarding processes do you have, or cross-training? What policies and procedures are in place? What structural pieces? How do you retain your people? What specific growth efforts are available, right? Are in there. Okay. So those are the things that the leaders think about. Now, and then next we talked about actions, things that you can do as a leader. And who remembers the 4 quadrants of action? The 4 quadrants of action that you wrote in activities that you can perform in each of those quadrants on a regular basis, right? So that first quadrant was what? Who remembers here? These 4 quadrants are what all of our programming is built off of. What this programming is built off of, we've been integrating it fully in. What all of our coaching programs are all about, what everything we teach is all about. So what are those 4 quadrants, right? The 4 quadrants that you worked out. Yes, Alicia. Number 1, purpose, right? Really designing that purpose, knowing your why. Exactly. Purpose is absolutely the number one. Alex got it. Alicia, Allie, Ria, Erica, Victor. Yes. Purpose, right? And second, that leadership of self. How many supervisors are just not taking good care of themselves? We must, because we have to show our team that we are people outside of work and we are holistic. This big picture. There's our financial life. There's our spiritual life. There's our physical life, our home life, all these things that matter. We are not 99% work. Right? Work, career is a component of it. And so we really want to understand that holistic person. And so leadership of self ensures that we're not getting burnt out, right? So that's key in everything we do. We have Find the Pause every Wednesday. We have a little reminder about, finding that pause, and Wellness Wednesday, leadership of self. And, many of you are in the policing world, and we see a lot of wellness stuff coming up with policing. And many police agencies are sending their folks, their analysts, through our one of our other programs. We're not really talking about this time around, but through our RG program, because it really helps them. It helps them, have that leadership of self, right? So they're sending their folks through that. And what we're doing with you folks is just as important. That leadership of self piece is just as important for you as leaders. That's why we build it into all of our programming. So we have purpose, we have leadership of self, and what are the other two core categories? Yes, efficiency habits. Those are those machines, right? We want the well-oiled machine. We must be looking at our systems. So every single person who works with us, we do a systems audit, right? We really look at your systems. We figure out what we can tighten up. We figure out what we can automate. Right? Welcome, Angelica. Welcome, Kaylee. Glad that you are here. And yes, Alicia, our last category are high purpose people and environments. High purpose, high efficiency, high performance people and environments. And so this is what we're focusing on today. So we don't have time, like over the course of 7 days, we don't have time to really dig into all of them in great detail, but we're taking one of these, right? This people portion of it. And we're building on it today. So yesterday, and for those of you, Sally and Shani and Abigail and Erica and Mallory and Ria and Jen and many other of you who have already done yesterday's homework, don't forget, do the homework, right? So for those of you who have already done that homework, really what we did yesterday is just identify those characteristics. So the relationship mapping is 3 parts, right? So yesterday's part was all about figuring out, what do we want to know about people? Often as leaders, we're like, well, we want to know, how fast they work. We want to know, if they're producing, what's the level of production. And so what we did yesterday is really got outside that box, recognizing that these are real people. And we probably want to know other things about them. So what are the things that you wanted to know about your people, right? What are the things that you want to know about people? So what we did is we identified our 5 people, right? And many of you like Excel sheets. So we identified our 5 people, and then across the top, it didn't have to be this way, any method that you want, right? Across the top, we talk about what are things we want to know about people. You guys had some creative ideas. I really liked it. Go ahead and plug in those ideas so that other folks who haven't been able to check out the homework yet can hear. But I saw some things around, I want to know their birthday, right? I want to know what kind of learner they are. Are they someone who receives information in writing well or in visual well? Like, what is it about? Jen says, spending some time doing the homework is really critical for your growth. Yeah, you will see results. Every single person who's done this work has seen results, right? This is not our first rodeo, right? So we know what growth works, right? We know that these building relationships work. We've been working with teams and groups of people and individuals for several years now, helping them really recognize the importance of building quality relationships. So yeah, absolutely, Jen, do your homework, right? Yes, I like it. Alicia says, what motivates them? What gives them drive? Yes, because some things motivate some people that don't motivate others, right? So knowing what is their motivator, right? Yeah, what drives them can fast track your team towards success. Yes, Shani, exactly, Caroline. What drives people, right? You might have someone who is driven by competition, right? That's exciting for them. And you might have another person who really hates competition. And you might have another person who really likes clear goals, and another person who wants to help, and another person who likes spreadsheets, and another person who can't stand spreadsheets, right? So, you really got to think about who are your learners and how can you help them learn most efficiently and effectively, right? And so defining, and not just learn, but how can you provide value to them? So what we did yesterday is we came up with some really good ideas across the top. I'm forgetting all of them right now. So help me out, guys. Help me out. What did you guys put in there? There were some really, really good ones in there. So help me out. Renee says, knowing the special thing about team, show them you care and are interested in them as a person. And exactly. They are humans. Do they have families at home? Like I'm looking at, Erica here, right? She has a dog, Baxter. If I kept on forgetting her dog's name, she probably would not be a friend of mine, right? She'd be like, dude, Baxter's the love of my life. He's this little cute puppy, and she posts pictures about him, and and that's the connect, right? Yes, and so Nick, Sergeant Rhea, who's gonna be speaking for us tomorrow. You want to come as a surprise bonus, right? There's no sessions tomorrow other than a surprise for you, which is Sergeant Rhea, who has built infrastructure from the ground up. He has a great story about how to manage SWAT and a bunch of other things all at once. I mean, we all manage a bunch of things, right? Yes, there were some awesome ideas posted. Yes, Baxter. Yes, we definitely do this for our team all the time. In fact, we believe in this so much that at the beginning of every one of our conversations, we talk about this. Victor says, what gives them the position they have besides time and hard work? Search for their other qualities. Yes. Search for their qualities. What kind of person are they, right? Are they creative? Are they, are comfortable speaking up? Like learn about them. Learn about the people that they are outside of work too. Are they married? Do they have children? What's their favorite place to go? To the beach, to the lake, right? Because it's this information that helps you build relationships, not the report that's due. I'm going to repeat that. It's this connecting information that helps you build relationships, not the report that's due, right? And so when you have a report due, or when you have a deadline, or when you have something going on, your team is going to operate better if they're connected to themselves, as a team, and to that bigger mission, okay? Let's see. Yes, Caroline loves seeing Baxter on our little sessions, our live sessions that we have in our smaller group. Fantastic. Yes. Let's see. Victor, Caroline says, this is so important. We are, what are they good at? Yeah. What makes them feel proud? All great things to learn. I remember working with someone and he really loved crossword puzzles. And so when I found some crossword puzzles that I thought would be kind of cool, I would just send them to him and be like, here's a really good one, and he was competitive, really competitive. So I'd be like, here's a good one. I bet you can't do it, kind of thing, and making it fun. Whereas someone else would be like, that's not floating my boat, right? Someone else would, that just wouldn't float their boat. Yes, Lisa, do they also hate the sound of people eating raw carrots? Right. There's these funny things that you can really learn about your team. You can really learn about your team. Lisa says the relationships allow them to get more and support you. Absolutely. These are questions. Yes. Baxter's at work with you now. So I will say, if you're looking for one idea, here's an idea for you. At the beginning of every single one of our weekly meetings in our company, Excellence in Analytics, right? We have a team, Caroline and Michelle. Once a week, we meet for about an hour and we just talk about how we can best support folks, right? How we can best support folks and what we can do. At the beginning of every single meeting, The question is what? The question is, how were you a leader of yourself? How did you take really good care of yourself this week? What fun thing did you do? What did you do to take really good care of yourself? And so, Michelle, might say, I'm buying this like thing that I can throw in my backyard. I just love my backyard with the dogs running around. And guess what? Now I know she has dogs and she loves relaxing in her backyard and, with her garden, right? And Caroline, might say, I'm going to get a facial or getting a massage or spending time with my family. And now I know what's important to her and in her world, right? And so, and then I share me, I'm like, I practiced getting upside down on a paddleboard. I took really good care of myself. I ate really well this weekend, and they know that this is my goal. So what do you know about your team members, right? What do you know about your team members that really helps you move forward, right? That really helps you move forward with them. So let's see what we got going on here. I see a lot of folks chiming in. Yes, Rhea is definitely the truth. Jen says, when a boss is retired, you do not remember a great report of him. Oh my gosh, I love that, Jen. You remember his personality. When somebody, and I'm not sure who actually said that because it's like this small, but you don't remember some report that they did. You don't remember some design of a product, maybe. I mean, if it made your company $1 million, maybe you'd remember the design. But what you know is, and remember, is how they made you feel. How they made you feel. And that's why relationship building is so important. Because I know our team, like, they may not love everything they do. Trust me. I know that Michelle and Caroline are probably sometimes like, oh, I got to do this. But they do it because they know that what the bigger purpose is. And they know that I really care about them as humans, right? And vice versa. Victor, say it louder for the leaders in the back. Yes. Oh gosh, I missed it. Victor, write it in again. I can't wait to hear it again. Yes, Michelle, leadership of self. Exactly. Well, maybe Victor said this. Victor, did you say when a boss is retired, you don't remember a great report of him? You remember that person, that human, his personality. Yes, exactly. A boss, yes. Oh, Victor said it. All right, they're coming in. Shani says, I'm moving into a new career path. This is what I'm doing for leadership of self. Yes. So I imagine that things might have been struggling, right, at work. And now you're saying, hey, leadership of self means I got to go in the right direction for me. Victor, yes, you did. Okay, so I apologize for giving the wrong person credit. It was Victor that said that brilliant thing, but Jen's pretty brilliant herself too. So thinking about, the people, right? Thinking about the people is important. Jen says, that can be a really tough move. Congrats to you for stepping up to the challenge and making a change you needed. Yeah. So I did the same thing. So I remember, and I know it's hard, Shani. I know it's hard. So I remember I took this job in Boston, Massachusetts, which is about 40 miles from me. I don't know, something like that. But it would take me 2 hours to get there. So I would drive down, because of all the traffic from New Hampshire to Boston. I would drive down, I would get there, and I'm like, oh my God. And this is not sitting well for me. And then I would drive 2 hours back, right? So I had these really long days. And I didn't get to spend time with my family. And I'm like, well, I'm a single mom. This is what the single moms have to do. That was that scarcity mindset stuff, right? What other job am I going to make, 6 figures in? It's not going to happen. So I have to stick it out. I just have to do it, right? But I was reducing my quality of life in other areas, right? I was reducing my quality of life, and I was not taking good leadership of self, right? Or practicing good leadership of self. I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning just to work out, so that I would have enough time to drive. I would drop my baby off at 6 in the morning at school, before care, and then pick her up at 6 or 5:30 at night. That's a long day. And so some of the core values that I had as a mom, as a home, as a family, I based it off of money. I'm like, oh, I need income. And so I was not taking really good leadership of myself. Care of myself. And when I shifted my mindset and said, wait, what's important to me? What do I need to do to really have all this success, financial and time with my family and the things that I want, working out and all that stuff? And once I removed my scarcity mindset, I inserted, right? You can't just remove it. You got to insert something. Inserted the abundance mindset, right? I hired a coach to teach me how to do it. I hired, because I didn't know, so I hired a coach to teach me how to think this way, because that's how important it is. You can't think any higher than you currently think, right? You can't get to the next level with using the same lenses that you're using right now. You have to look from a different set of lenses. And that's what I did. I hired another set of lenses who really showed me a different way. And I left that role. Right? And with respect, like a 6-week, advance notice and all that fun stuff. But I left that role and really realigned with what was important in my life. And quite honestly, it has been the best decision ever. Right? I'm doing the things that I love to do on a much more consistent basis. And so when you are in alignment with that piece, in leadership of self, it makes so much more sense. All right, I see all the comments here. I'm going to back up a little bit and check out what's going on over here. You guys are just going wild. Here it is. Yeah. So Shani, I guess the point was for Shani that when you take leadership of self and you put that into the mix first, your decisions for your future are so much better. So Shani says, it was a hard decision, the best for me personally, professionally, mentally, and emotionally. Ditto. And I get where you're coming from. I can't wait to talk to you later on today. Let's see. Yes, we are rooting for you. Absolutely. Michelle says, the thing that matters is other, that's what life is all about. Yeah, Robin Williams. Yeah, exactly. Each other. Let's see. We have a bunch of folks sharing here. Jen said, I made the same change in my professional life for similar reasons. Same industry, but new spot. It was the best decision I could have ever made. I wish you much luck and can't wait to hear how your life has improved with the new you. Yeah. Ria says, scarcity versus abundant mindset. Yes, scarcity versus abundant mindset. Yes, Shani, you are most welcome. Victor says, wow, Dawn, you really become so strong after that. Yeah, absolutely. You really do. And it was hard because, like when you are when people are depending on you to run a home. I actually owned a home at the time. I had a mortgage and, I'm just like, it doesn't make, like, there's too much stress, right? But I had this big ticket coming into my pocket and I felt accomplished, but I felt unaccomplished in my personal life and I had to balance that out a little bit. And now both are very accomplished and I never saw, with the lenses I had I never saw what could be, right? What could be. So yeah, absolutely. Okay. Elise says, awesome story and very inspiring. This has been one positive of COVID and working from home, and it has given me more time to reflect and make changes, taking ownership of self and realizing what matters. Yes. How many others feel that way? You working from home and all of a sudden you start connecting with what matters more, right? What matters more. I get it. I'm right there with you, Elise. I'm right there with you. I will never work 2 hours away from my house anymore. I don't care if they pay me $250,000. Oh, no. I'm not going to do that, right? Welcome, John. And so, yeah, this is a story I think that a lot, especially in the nonprofit world or in the public sector, we don't realize that there's things outside of what we do because we're so used to one way. We're so used to this one track, right? And it isn't until you have someone thinking and showing you how to think differently that you really see beyond that, right? That you really see beyond that. And I actually hired my first coach several years ago, and she was phenomenal. I was with her for a year, and then I hired the next level, which was a pretty intense program. I hired a coach for another year. I don't think I'd ever live my life without a coach because no matter how much I see, I don't see it all. Right. And I don't see the next level that I want to get to. Right. And so I always have, if you want a great exercise routine, you hire an exercise coach, right? If you want to know nutrition, you hire a nutritional coach. If you want to be excellent in your career in leadership, right? Then you hire excellence in analytics to help you in your career. A lot of chiefs will reach out and they'll say, can you just support my team for the year? And we say, yes, we do that too. So Caroline says, you're so right, Elise. Finding the light in this world is so important. I hope we can share more of that feeling with you. Yeah, that feeling of connection. Okay, so let's really talk about the relationship goals. So we've identified the relationships, those 5 people that we want to build relationships with, right? And we've identified a couple of characteristics, and this can change, you know, as you start to get to know someone, this can change, but you just kind of, some things that you want to center in on. Sometimes we get nervous about what to ask, you know, someone. So sometimes having that there, you're like, okay, how can I be intentional about this conversation, right? So the next step, so that's step 1, is identifying the characteristics in the people. Step 2 is identifying the relationship goal. Several of you talked about internal and external partners. Yes, you should be building relationships with people at work and people outside of work, right? Because you don't know, just like Shani is outside, right? You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're going, and you don't know who you can provide value to, right? And how that's gonna kind of formulate for you down the road. Maybe you retire one day and you're like, I remember that connection I had. Or maybe you want to shift careers, or maybe you want to learn something new and you've tapped in. The other day, I spoke with, where is it? I spoke with Jen Corum, right? Who runs a real-time crime analysis center. What a great person to connect with, right? So she has all this great knowledge about real-time crime centers and can really help people who are looking to, you know, kind of pass over some of the stepping stones that she had to go through, right? And some of the challenges that she had to go through. And so, you know, you connect with people. Absolutely. Jen says, we are 100% people, not just robots, even when some people try to treat us like we are. Yes, we are not robots. Exactly. Lisa, you know Jen? Yeah, she's fantastic. She's great. And so the second step in this is defining what your relationship goal is with these people. Defining what your relationship goal is with these people. So Elise says, one of the first webinars I took when I started working from home was Dawn's courses on wellness. Oh, fantastic. Dawn encouraged us to take advantage of this time that we don't usually, that we don't usually have and grow ourselves and take care of ourselves. Thanks, Dawn. It's been a comment that has stuck with me this past year. Oh, you are most welcome. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. Yes, Renee. Yes, Ria. Jennifer Corum is such a great person to talk to. She has such great attitude toward real things. Yeah, she's pretty incredible, and she's pretty incredible. So you know, the step here is that relationship goal, right? What's the goal? And so if you're following along, we're with a little box that talks about that relationship goal. Well, I don't know, what page is that on? What page is that in your workbook? Everyone have a workbook? I hope so. I hope so. So, you know, for new relationships that you're just starting, those new relationships that you're just starting, you're going to, the relationship goal is to build. So go ahead and type in build into the comments. For new relationships, you're going to build, right? When you want to deepen a relationship, you want to grow it, right? Grow it. Oh, thank you, Michelle. That's awesome. Lisa, mine's at home and I'm not. That's fun. That's okay. You're here with us. That's okay. So if for new relationships you want to build, yes, Lisa, new relationships, I just want to build it. That's the goal. So this step is identifying the goal, right? So you might add another column to your spreadsheets and say goal. So you want to identify if you're building a brand new relationship. Welcome, Shelly. You know, if you're building a brand new relationship, right? When you want to deepen something, you want to grow it. You want to grow. So go ahead and plug into the top comments. Deepen the relationship equals grow. Deepen the relationship equals grow. When there's a relationship gap, and you want to bridge that gap, the relationship goal is nurture, right? That relationship goal is nurture. Yeah. Yeah, it makes me happy too, that knowing how much joy this group brings to so many people. Yeah, Jen, definitely. So build, grow, nurture. So build brand new relationships. Nurture are when you just want to deepen that relationship with somebody. Grow is when you want to grow. Let's see, what is gap? So Victor, good question. So if maybe you've had a little tiff Maybe, you know, you have a disgruntled employee. Maybe you have, you know, something that didn't work out quite right. Maybe someone got in trouble by somebody else, or someone had a fight with someone else, and there's kind of this gap, right, happening. Maybe they didn't like one of the decisions that you made as a leader, right? So when you have a gap, you have to pay attention to the gap, and you have to work to nurture that gap, okay? Yeah, or lost trust. Exactly, Lisa. Oh, exactly, right? Okay, so that's the gap. When there's something exists, maybe there's you know, a new hire, and you've already kind of started to build that relationship, but there's a competition going on. So maybe you want to fill that gap a little bit, right? And when a relationship is established and requires time and energy just to continue, it's maintain that relationship, okay? So we have build for the new relationships, grow when you want to really deepen that relationship. Like, this is like the personal stuff, right? Michelle says, all of you and the positive environment y'all bring is so magnetic. It is. You guys are magnets for amazingness. So build, grow, nurture, maintain. So what you're going to do is, in your homework, is you're going to add a column that says relationship building goal, right? Yes, Victor. So relationship building goal. And this could be, think about this with family members, like, or friends. Let's say a friend is really doing something to irritate you, like maybe they're not returning your calls or something, right? You know, there's a gap there. There's some bad feeling there, and so your goal is nurture, right? Okay, so your job is to take a picture now of your new strategy, adding in that last column that talks about what kind of, what's the goal? What's the goal? Is it nurture? Is it build, grow, nurture, or maintain? Build, grow, nurture, or maintain. All right. Welcome, Junior. Welcome, Robert. For folks who are just hopping on, it's okay. You can go back and take a look at the beginning after we're wrapping up over the next 10 minutes. 10 minutes, we'll be all done here. Okay. So build, grow, nurture, and maintain. And so the reason why it's really critical to know where your relationship stands is to help figure out the next step, which happens on Monday, which is your strategy. So we're going to talk about that strategy on Monday. So you're going to post yesterday's homework if you haven't already. Victor, I can't wait to see yours. Post your homework if you haven't already for yesterday, and post your homework for today. It's quick and easy. You have 5 people to identify what kind of build, grow, nurture, and maintain. Exactly. What do you want to do? What's the goal with this person? So this is something that we talk a lot about, and he's not here today, but Andrew Butts, who's part of our leadership team, does a beautiful job of building relationships with people. And this is a key area that we focus on in our leadership programs. So right now you're in a masterclass. That's okay, Michelle, that's okay. Right now you're in a masterclass, and so we're kind of zipping through in 7 days some like high-level concepts. But these are high-level concepts, right? And so it really takes consistently meeting, consistently connecting over time, small increments in applying, right? And so sometimes when you take these kind of big concepts, right? You take these big concepts, they're hard to actually apply. And so what we do in our leadership program, it's actually called RG Leadership Incubator, right? And several of you have asked about it, so I'm just going to share it with you guys here. And so what we do is we really provide a platform where people can grow their leadership over a longer period of time, right? And so it is increasingly hard for mid-level managers and supervisors and aspiring leaders, no matter how good their intentions are for building strong teams and, building core foundation of leadership, they don't have the training or the support to really apply, right? To really make the application happen. And if they do apply some of it, then they have all these questions that happen afterwards that, that they don't have anyone to field questions to, right? And so what we've done Lisa, you too. Yeah. These leaders, they do desire high performance teams. They do desire, building legacy. They do desire gaining the influence. They do desire to get off that flippin' spin wheel, right, of chaos, right? And they do desire a community of people. They want to stop putting out fires. They want to stop spinning. They want to see their team be proactive. They want to see their team own their roles. They want to take a vacation and know that when they come back, life has not ended, right? They don't want to be called during their vacation. So these are leaders, it's harder and harder. When we work with supervisors, I ask them, how much training have you had? How much support do you have? And they might say, I went to a 4-hour training and it was mostly like HR stuff, right? How to deal with people who are coming in for COVID or whatever. Or maybe they even got a 1-week training, right? Which is great. You put a bunch of great ideas into your head. But the problem is there's no support in application, right? There's no support in application. And so, it leads people to feel disorganized, stagnant, overwhelmed, imposter syndrome. They're wondering if they're even supposed to be this leader, right? And they just don't know how. They just don't know how to become the leaders that they want to be. And so our programs, our RG leadership program, we have several of our RG leader members here. Go ahead, if you are in the leadership program, just type in, I'm in RG, so folks know who you are, so they can reach out to you, ask you, a little bit about the program. But essentially what we do is we focus on those 4 key pillars: the purpose, efficiency strategies, high purpose people and environments, leadership of self. And we do this through, a couple of platforms. So for membership for a whole year, right? You show up when you show up, right? So you have access to materials, growth work, group coaching, one-on-one coaching. How many of you love the one-on-one coaching? Look at Rhea is on RG, Caroline, Michelle, Jen, and the one-on-one coaching is what makes the difference. Erica, yep, you're in it. And so, leaders get together once a week, right? And we talk about these leadership initiatives. Alicia, yes, all you folks, I know you've completely transformed, and you are the superstars here. You are the superstars. And so, once a week we offer a Zoom platform where we have a topic of the month that we talk about. Those things that we were talking about before. We talk about the cascade, cultivating belonging. How do we create high purpose environments? Nick is in it too. Exactly. And so we come to this platform and we talk about these things, and then we practice being leaders. We role play, we dissect, we reflect, we come together as a community and really make sure that we're around other people who rise us. So many people here have said that they are looking for that community to rise them. And that's what we do. That's what we do. We've had people who have joined on for 12 months and then came back for another 12, right? They're just like dying to get in. Yes, Jen. Yes, Nick. Yes, Rhea. Exactly. And so, there's that group component of it. Judith, exactly. And so there's that group component of it. And then the second component of it are the materials, right? So we prompt you with things and research, best practices, building infrastructure, key things that are relevant for you, right? That are relevant for you in whatever industry you're in. So my personal background is in law enforcement, building infrastructure in law enforcement and in financial development for a local nonprofit, right? Really building a team of people to develop the finances and curriculum and leadership of those teams. But our team has worked with people, so that's our background, but our team has certainly worked with doctors and banking, and we've opened up our platform to work with real estate and all kinds of people who are building teams who are looking for that leadership growth. So there's the platform, the once a week that you pop in and you come and visit other people who are just like you, who are rising, right? And then there's the materials that we move you through to develop your own core leadership, to develop and to grow. We walk you through coaching, how to coach other people, questions to ask, how to feel comfortable, right? All of that. Yes, Ria, they are transformative. You are right. Like I'm looking at the people who are saying I'm in RG, and these are the people who have completely changed their lives. And you're going to hear from them. You're actually going to hear from them at 1:30 today. You're going to hear their stories. So we're going to pop off in a couple minutes, but pop back on and hear their leadership stories. We have Jen, we have Angelica, we have Ria who are sharing their growth stories with you. And we have Nick tomorrow at 2 o'clock. So today, 1:30 Eastern, tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We also have the component of the infrastructure, providing policies, procedures, visionary documents, growth along those lines, retention strategies, all of that, right? And then, of course, there's the one-on-one coaching. So once a month, we meet one-on-one, just like this, except I see you. You don't just see me, I see you. We meet once a month, and we really talk about your specific goals, right? Your growth work, what you are leading in your life. And a lot of times people come into these programs for career goals and they walk out with all of these other things that have nothing to do with career. They have better marriages. They have better friendships, deeper friendships. They have the things in their lives that they always thought, homes that they never thought they could buy, people that they never thought they could be intertwined with. So the transformation is ridiculous. And of course, they have leadership at work, leadership of self, and so forth. And so, yes. Let's see. What do we got here? You need help to be more tactful. Yeah. So we walk through, during our sessions, we walk through role play, which we present a situation, and sometimes it can be yours. We present a situation, and then the team of people sit and coach you on it. So we practice coaching on it. And so you receive that coaching too. From the group as well as one-on-one. So imagine what it would be like, you as a supervisor, not having to rely on a one phone call here or there, right? A one phone call here or there. It's really a system of improvement. And so one of the things I did want to share, is we talk about investing in our teams. We talk about investing in their growth so that they can be better tactically, right? We as leaders must invest in ourselves. And I shared that with you. Lisa says, I am too direct and old school. We can help with all of that, right? So I shared with you that I hire my own coaches because, I run my own business, with a team of people. I don't know everything. And I sometimes have a cap, right? And so I have leaders in my life that I hire on a regular basis. And so when you're in a leadership role, you know the importance of growth, of personal development, right? Of personal growth. And so it is important for you to find opportunities for growth. And we offer that opportunity in our weekly platforms, in our one-on-one coaching, which is part of the whole shebang, right? And it is unique because in my 20 plus years in law enforcement, I never saw a program that supported people for an entire year, right? That went with my ebb and flow, right? Some days I'm really busy and I can show up, and some days I'm really not. Some days I need more help than other days, right? And so before, when I would take courses, like I took several leadership courses, and a lot of them were a week long or 6 weeks, and we met once a week, right? But what happens after the 6 weeks? So what we do is we recognize that there's stuff that's going to happen 6 months from now that you're still going to need support, right, with. And you're still going to need that team, that community of other people, of ideas of how to deal with that problem child, right? Or how to deal with the upper management, or how to, deal with you not taking good care of yourself, right? Exactly. That's exactly what your classes were like, Shani. Yeah. Imagine yourself, exactly, Caroline, being truly happy. So one thing I will say is the culture that we have created with our crew is phenomenal. We've had people come in who really have felt incredibly down on themselves, imposter syndrome, confidence has been way low, and they walk away feeling like $1,000,000 because it's little, consistent, persistent habits over time. And that's why we have the program as long as we do. So there's a platform that you could always go to. And that's just different. That's not anywhere in the leadership environment. Anywhere. I looked it up. I was looking it up when I was trying to develop this program. I was like, what are other leaders doing? And the reality is nobody has these kind of platforms. Yeah. Coaching is all about you. Yeah. Look at all the excitement here. I love all the comments. I'm going to go back to every single one of them. They're flying by. I can't see all of them, but I'm like getting glimpses of them, and I will go back. I promise. I'll go back after this session. So, what we offer is a real change and a real solution for supervisors and aspiring leaders, a real solution that gets you to think in advance, that gets you to practice in advance, that gets you that right then and there challenge. We had a leader on the other day who was sharing her challenge with the group, and by the end of her challenge session, right, where she got that coaching, where we did the role play, she discovered solutions that she hadn't thought about before because she was around all of these great leaders who think at a higher level. That's so important. So for those of you who are brand new to your leadership, right, who might be moving into leadership or in that direction, right, it's phenomenal to set you up for success. And for those of you who are currently in leadership, you know, you're really aspiring, you understand the importance of community, you understand the importance of connection, you understand the importance of higher level thinking and investing in yourself. It's for you too. It's for you too. So it's a place where you can be active, where you can be safe, where you can be vulnerable, where you don't have to worry about what other people are thinking because we're all feeling the same way. And if you have multiple people from your company or your agency who want to do something like this, like let's say you're the higher level supervisor and you want to grow some legacy in your agency, we make sure to separate your groups so that you're kind of not bouncing into each other. So if you're worried about that, you know, we can definitely help with that. Okay, so that's your homework. You got your homework. You're going to go ahead and add that last column about the goals, right? You're going to attach, as soon as it's out, we'll save it to Unit 1 where all the homework is, right? If you want to hop on, I have a call afterwards with Shani, and I'm happy to contact anyone else who just wants to cut through the chase and get on the phone call and see if it's right for them. Just reach out to me or Caroline directly, and we'll make sure that you get on a call today or tomorrow. Okay, so in about 25 minutes, we're going to come back here. So we're going to go eat a little something. We're going to relax a little bit. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to listen to the amazing stories. You have to hear Jen's story. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Ria's story of leading a network of people. Angelica's story of rising in crazy confidence. So my hope is to bring these leaders on to inspire you. Whatever inspiration you need, we're hoping to inspire you. And then tomorrow, Sergeant Ria at 2 o'clock tomorrow is popping on board, and he's going to share his story about building his unit from the ground up. So Lisa asks, will it be recorded? So all of the sessions, including the testimonials, the stories, I guess, are going to be in Unit 1 until Wednesday. On Wednesday, we erase the whole thing. So I know it's Saturday. You probably have a fun date night plan or something like that. That's okay. So we hope that you join us live because these folks are phenomenal and the energy is phenomenal. But if you absolutely can't, go back to Unit 1 and you'll see the recordings there and be inspired over and over again. All right. So here we go. We are done. We'll see you in 20-ish minutes to hear from Jen, Ria, and Angelica. I'm so excited and I'm happy for you. Get your homework done. Don't forget about the homework. Remember, don't forget about the homework. All right, we'll see you real soon. Bye now.